Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Samuel Leggy here representing Team JVS. I'm back here again for another movie review. I had the luxury of being able to check out this movie very early. I literally saw it so early that I never even got to actually see the trailer for the movie, and I'm talking about The Little Things. This was directed by John Lee Hancock, most notable for his writing works like The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Brooks, The Rookie. And also, he also directed The Founder with Michael Keaton. This is starring amazing actors in Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek, all Oscar winners. And you know, you think about, like, you got all these Oscar, caliber like people in one movie. How is it going to line up? As a whole, my feeling after viewing the movie, I kind of felt a little underwhelmed. But when I started to reminisce about it and going through my notes, I was able to take a lot of appreciation of certain characters, certain things that they did with the plotting for these interwoven characters. And there's a lot of context behind each character. It's not that they're just one note, like, no, there's other levels to this. But let's just talk about the movie from structure, from the ground up. As far as camera work and scenery and design, I think that a lot of the things that they could have done to make up for some of the improvised scenes that, like, a character like Denzel Washington's character, you can tell he has a very interesting past. You can tell he wasn't just this one note sheriff cop. Like, there is something more to him. And when he starts to, look into a crime or starts to investigate, I feel like this was an opportunity from a design aesthetic or from a VFX standpoint. They could have done like the Sherlock route, where he's processing things in his head. He's saying, verbalizing his distress, his issue, his concern, and then like calculating like different risks and different situations or how these things could have panned out. A lot of the murders that take place in this one, I feel like it would have benefited from a callback, or at least something that would have kind of been like, oh, wait, kid, how this possibly panned out. And I think that would have made this as a thriller more intriguing, more engaging, and also hit a lot harder, because they do flashbacks, specifically with Denzel Washington's character and Rami Malek's character, but they are very slow burn-esque, and I think that they lose their effectiveness in the moments where I feel like they should have really hit hard the most. And I think that's from a capturing standpoint, the way they were actually captured cinematically. I think that it could have just been done structurally a little bit better. Now, as far as the score in this one, I think the score actually worked pretty well. I actually really liked like the tone and the shift and the darkness of how everything felt. It felt like there's a miss somewhere. But then even in the opening shot of this, I thought the opening shot was actually really great, because I really had no idea where this was going to go. But I do know that the setup for the first shot was something I've seen before in countless other horror or thriller-esque movies, kind of along lines like The Zodiac Killer. The way that it kind of felt like this movie went from point A to point B with the transition between characters. Now, besides cinematography and besides the way that score was, we got to go to the performances. Now, how did everybody do? I think that, honestly, Denzel Washington gave me a different character. Like a character he's never really played before. Like, I've seen him play, the soldier. He's played the detective. He's played, the psychopath. He's played like the assassin. But this character was the first character I felt like was a tortured character. And there was something about Denzel's eyes and the darkness that I kind of saw over him. So one of the characters, like, he was interacting with, they were having, I think, a drink or something like that together, and she said, "I look at you, I don't see anything good, like, at all." And that does pay off later on. And as far as the story is concerned, that does pay off very well later on. And I think that Denzel plays this character so differently that you're going to be kind of caught off guard by his decisions. And again, there is a lot of substance to this character that they just don't touch, because you only get to see one flashback sequence kind of pan itself out versus the time and the progress. But I mean, maybe that might work out for some people. I'm not sure. We'll see. how people react to it. Rami Malek in this one, I think that in the beginning, I actually liked his character more in the beginning because he was just a jerk. Like, he just was not, like, he was on his game, on his P's and Q's. And I kind of looked for that sharp wit to hit later. But instead, through the circumstances of certain things that happen, like, he's reduced to a different type of character that I don't necessarily like the way that his character goes, personally. But in hindsight, I do understand it. I do understand what his job is, what he's going through, and what's happening. And his performance does make up for it, but it kind of reduces his character, in my personal opinion. Now, Jared Leto, though, I love his character. Like, they put a prosthetic nose on him, and he's got this beer belly, and like, he does not look like Jared Leto. But there's something very off, very dark, and very maniacal about him. The only thing I don't like is the third act of his character. I like it, but I don't. Like, I love the way the process and setup. It's a thinking man's movie. At the third act, if you're looking for action and you're looking for a payoff, like physically and stuff like that, it's not this. This is not how that's gonna go. This is more a thinking man's, thinking woman's movie when you get down to it. Like, you have to put the pieces together by the end of it. And I think that might be the disservice of the storyline. If you are looking for a thriller that's going to tell you exactly what happened, how this happened, and showing you, that's not what this movie is going to pay off. And I think that I didn't have any expectations going into it, but I was like, oh, okay, this is a thriller, like, I'm going to get that, and I didn't get it, and so I was kind of underwhelmed. But there was appreciation I got, like, after the fact. And I think maybe if I saw the trailer or something like that, I would have felt a different way about it. But in terms of the way that everything panned out, how everything went and transitioned, I just personally didn't get a lot of gratification out of it. But I did love the performances of pretty much all three men. Jared Leto, out of everybody, even though he had the least amount of like screen time, I just was like, his character, I can't spoil it, but you just gotta watch. You just really gotta watch, because the way that things go down is very dark. And maybe this is what John Lee Hancock wanted. I'm not really sure, but I don't think this is based on any kind of story material or any kind of book. I think this was written as an authentic story by him, but it is very different. It is not your conventional thriller. The best example that I can give of this one would be the Zodiac. Like, that's for real. This is not a prisoner situation. This is not, I'm trying to think of a comparison that I can give right off the bat, but it's not what you think. It's really not what you're thinking. If you're putting your expectations that this is going to be this, payoff and these murders and this, that, and other, like a lot of physical this, that, and other, there's not a lot of that. There's more substance and darkness that has befallen these characters, and you have to gauge what this really means in the interim of everything. But as far as I'm concerned, I give this a 7, maybe 7.5. I think I rested right at a 7. I was looking for something else. I got something totally different, but it doesn't disservice the character designs as well as their fleshed out backstories that could have been, and as well as the payoff of the performances that all these amazing Oscar winner men have been able to do. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll talk to you guys later. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace, guys.